Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the worst fucking podcast you've ever heard. Both mics.
All right. I like it when that lady with the robot type voice is like, hey, listen to the worst fucking show ever.
I like it even better when we're actually live on Twitch. Twitch.tv/bothmics.
Yeah, I'm trying to get you up live on the video here.
Yeah.
Hang on, I'm doing it.
In the corner. Well, while you're doing that, I'll do welcome to Both Mics, folks. Both Mics is a show about nothing and everything. That over there is Mike Sofka. And I am Mike Taylor.
Yes, he is Mike Taylor.
What he said, that is Mike Taylor. Welcome to show number 76. 1976. 76 of Both Mics heard everywhere podcasts can be heard. Live right now on twitch.tv/bothmics. Find anything you need to know about us. Look, it's me. It's me. I'm here. Bothmics.com. Check it out. Anything you need to know about that mic or this mic, you can find on bothmics.com.
You would be correct, sir. How are you, Mike?
I'm doing good for a Friday, you know?
Yeah.
Doing good for a white guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're gearing up for your big cruise coming up here, right, in February?
Well, yeah, I just got off a cruise, and
so is it the same cruise line you're going on, or a different one?
No, believe it or not, no. Let me turn up your volume a little bit so I can hear you a little better. All right. No, last cruise I was on was MSC. It's actually a cargo company that started a actual passenger cruise line. So MSC is the one I was on. The one I'm going on is Monsters of Rock, and this will be like my 9th time going on it. And this particular year, we're going on a ship called Freedom of the Seas. It is a very large cruise ship. And Royal Caribbean Cruise Line is the cruise line that's doing it. MSC has done it before. Norwegian Cruise Line has done a couple. And now I think the last 5 or 6 have been on Royal Caribbean. Been on Mariner of the Seas, Navigator of the Seas, Independence of the Seas. We'll be on Freedom of the Seas and Brilliance of the Seas. So they've been a bunch of different bigger boats each time, it seems like. So they're in the second highest class of attendance or passenger capacity, with a capacity of about 4,000 people if you completely fill it up.
So have you been on one of these where it wasn't full of fans for the show, and then like maybe other people were just there and like, oh, I didn't know?
No,
Okay,
I've been on cruises like that. Like actually, my last cruise, we were other people on the salsa cruise for 7 days, and that was interesting.
Nice.
Yeah, it was interesting.
So what are the dates of your cruise coming up here, so I know when to come rob your house?
Well, since I live in Apopka, Florida, you can come by any time.
Yes.
Between well, we're going to be out of town the 8th of February to the 14th, but the cruise itself will be the 9th through the 14th.
All right.
Leaving out of Miami, Florida.
All right.
Like I said, I've been doing this cruise since 2014, and it's been out of Miami almost every time. I've been out of Fort Lauderdale one year and Tampa one year. That was fun. They always do what's called a pre-cruise party or two. And this particular one will have one pre-cruise party with entertainment to be announced at a place called Magic City Casino in Miami.
Yeah, I've been there.
Been there? Yeah, they do it. The dog track out back has a bandstand.
Yeah,
and they're doing it at the bandstand.
But they don't let you. They don't let you on the field. You have to sit in the seats, right?
No. The VIP gets to come down on the field on the infield, and of course, every time except for once, I've been VIP, silver or gold VIP for this particular cruise, and we always go down to the field. It depends. Like one year, we were just tired, and we're like, "Screw it, let's just sit down." Because we used to fly in from San Antonio. This will be the first Monsters of Rock cruise that we don't have to fly into. We just get on I-95 and head south.
So you're bringing the kids, putting headphones on them?
No. Mama is coming to town.
Perfect.
And the boys will be staying with her, or she'll be staying with the boys, essentially. Okay. Let's see, Miami, I tell you, Florida. Oh, actually, I've been to another Monsters of Rock out of L.A., Totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
One year, I think 2016, they did a East Coast, West Coast. And East Coast being on the Norwegian Pearl, probably. And that was out of Miami. And then in October of the same year, they did a Monsters of Rock cruise out of LA or Long Beach, essentially. Mm. And we got in like 3 days early, and we did the bus tour of Hollywood and all that. And we stayed right off of Sunset Strip, kind of in North Hollywood, not really West Hollywood, where all the 80s action happened. And they had a couple pre-cruise parties going on there, but we missed one because we went to go see Jack Russell's Great White at the Whiskey A Go-Go. And essentially that's where we got that picture we were talking about earlier signed that I never got to yet.
So let me ask you, who's going to be the performance at Magic City the night before?
We don't know yet. They kind of save little Easter eggs, and they'll announce things. They don't announce everything at once. They announced Alice Cooper on the boat last Monsters of Rock cruise, and then little by little they get the other names announced as the year, or actually almost 2 years now, has gone by.
So Alice Cooper's the big headliner.
We'll let that one out of the hat right now.
You see his picture there. If you're watching us on both on twitch.tv/bothmikeslive, or if you're catching us on YouTube or Facebook or wherever, look at a picture, because that's Alice Cooper steering the ship there with cobwebs and stuff behind him. So have you seen Alice Cooper before?
Yes, I've seen him, I guess, a couple times the last Motley tour. In Austin, in San Antonio, in Atlantic City, wherever else I saw that tour. But yeah, I've seen him before. And then I think I've seen him way back once or twice somewhere along the line. Mm-hmm. But the last cruise that we were on, they give you the opportunity like a week or two later to pre-book for alumni the next cruise.
Yeah.
So, we book it. It's all booked online. And you make payments. There's a minimum payment, and then you have benchmarks where you have to be 50% paid, full paid as time goes along. Pricing is a little bit more than what a traditional cruise is. The last cruise I went on was a 7-night cruise for 4 people, and I paid under $1,000.
Which is awesome. Yeah, if anybody doesn't know what cruise pricing is like, that's awesome. The Monsters Rock cruise, I think the least I've ever paid per person was like $1,400, and I'm sure I've paid over $2,000 a person in more recent times. But we've gone from, like I said, inside rooms that are not VIP to actually a couple times we had between 5 and 8 people in a suite. One year we had. I'm gonna cut you off there. This is not that kind of show, Mike. We're not going to talk about those activities.
Yeah, no fishbowl in this room. No goldfish bowl. But yeah, it was 2 single girls, 2 single guys in one room with bunk beds, and they all kind of not hooked up, but hung out in there. My wife and I, since we booked the room, we got the master suite. And then there was 2 more on a pull-out couch.
Now, Mike, I watched the show on TV yesterday, and I found out it's no longer politically correct to call it the master suite. You have to call it the primary suite now, because that's offensive and racist by calling it the master suite. I kid you not. I saw this on a TV show. I about fell out of my chair.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So I can't call my kids Master Nicholas and Master...
No, that's racist as well. Yes.
It's racist as well? Okay. How about Mr.?
I think if you go with massa, like an A at the end, that's better. Massa.
That's better?
Yes, better.
Okay. I'm the massa suite. Yeah. And that was, we were gold, and you went out back, and it was like a 24-foot balcony at the aft of the ship, back of the ship. And that was great. That was really nice. That particular year, we drove from San Antonio to Miami, and we stopped at Trader Joe's along the way. And Trader Joe's, their famous wines called $2 Chuck.
Yeah.
Well, $2 Chuck costs $3.
Right.
not $2. And so I picked up a case. No, actually, it's $3 if you buy a bottle. It's $2 a bottle if you buy a case. So for $23.95, I bought a case of wine. And when I got to the terminal, I basically went around to people and said, "Hey, are you bringing wine on board? Because you're allowed to bring 2 bottles of wine."
Yeah.
And people were like, "No." I'm like, "Well, here, put these 2 in your bag, and when you get on the other side of security, give them back to me." So I essentially had 11 bottles of wine because I drank one at one of the pre-cruise concerts. So I had 11 bottles of wine. Another person in the 8-person room brought like 3 bottles or 4 bottles. Yeah, we had so much liquor. It was crazy.
So you had another experience like that before, didn't you? Where you wound up like buying everybody drinks because you had like a shit ton of tickets or something?
Yeah. My first Monsters Rock cruise on the MSA Divina, which was the cruise ship I just got off a couple of weeks ago. God, when we got on board, we were VIP. So I told Brenda, go to the bar, get our drink package. I'm going to the back to get our VIP stuff. So I get my stuff. I go to the bar, and she's at the bar, and she turns to me. She goes, "You're not going to believe it. They lost our drink package." I'm like, well, I'm very organized, and I print everything. So I had a printed copy of our confirmation for our drink package.
Old man with the printed copy. It's not on his phone.
Yeah. Yep. So they hand us an envelope, and I'm feeling this envelope that should have 72 drink tickets in it. And I'm like, okay, this is kind of thick, but that's fine. So we grab all our stuff, we get back to our room, and we open it up, and there's 144 drink tickets in there. And like, okay, they obviously screwed something up, but that's okay. Maybe since they felt they screwed up, they threw us a bone. So now MSC is an Italian cruise line, and they do all their credit card stuff out of France. There's a connection here. Night number 2, we get back to our room, and of course it's like a hotel phone, and it's blinking red. So we have a message, and it's basically the front desk. So Brenda calls down to the front desk and says, "Hey, I got a message. There was something going on. What do you need?" I'm guessing it's about our credit card because you're trying to run our credit card through a company in France. "Oh, no, it's not that. We have your drink package down here. You need to come and get it."
Nice.
And we're like, "Well, we got our drink package yesterday. We signed for it. We don't need our drink package. We have plenty. Thank you." "No, well, it's down here. It has your name on it. You have to come get it."
You were trying to do the right thing.
Okay, no problem.
You were correcting the girl at McDonald's who can't give you the right change back and trying to do the right thing. I get it. I get it.
But yeah. So we go down there, and it wasn't 72 tickets like we should have gotten the first time. It was another 144 drink tickets.
See, so 288 drinks.
288 drink tickets. And what the thing was, it was also a great deal to begin with. For the 72 tickets, it was essentially excuse me, it was essentially like $354.
Wow.
So 75 and
$5 a drink, give or take.
$5 a drink.
Yeah.
And then they gave us 4 times the amount of that, so we paid $1.25 a drink.
That's awesome.
No, we gave it out to different people.
Yeah.
John
Carobi,
you
got to share
the
that.
other lead singer from Motley Crue, his son was like 27 at the time. We gave him like 18 tickets because there were booklets of 18. I know the singer for Steve Adler. His name's Jacob Burton. He used to be in a band called
Name Dropper.
Yeah, name dropper. And I was like, "Hey, I know you don't drink, but you drink cappuccino or anything?" He goes, Yeah. I go, "Well, these tickets you can use for bottled water or cappuccino, or if you want to get a drink for somebody else, you can get whatever you want. As long as the drink's not more than $12, you're good to go." This was 2014, so things were a little cheaper back then. So we gave these things away. We met a couple from Kingston, New York, and we basically hung out all the time and just did shots and freaking Dr. Peppers and all kinds of drinks. And our last night on the cruise, we missed like every band that I wanted to see because we were hanging out by the indoor pool, just drinking and freaking telling stories and yucking it up.
I don't feel like getting up and walking over there to watch the band I came to see.
Right, exactly. Yeah, we I don't know, probably 3 or 4 bands. I know one of them was Slaughter that we missed, and it was crazy. but cool nonetheless.
All right, so Alice Cooper's the headliner, and in Quensryche is there. Have you seen them before?
Yeah.
On Monsters Rock or no?
Yeah, I've actually seen both versions of Quensryche. If you're looking on twitch.tv/both mics, the singer there, I think his name is Todd, and the original singer is, I forget his name, of course, under pressure here. I forget his name, but yeah.
Guy from Quensryche, that's his name.
The guy from Quensryche. Yeah, I've seen both versions of Quensryche before. Yeah.
All right. How about Cinderella?
Cinderella. Well, this is the lead singer from Cinderella, Tom Keifer. I've seen them. I've seen them in 1986 open for Bon Jovi at H.E.A.T. I just got a background noise over here. H.E.A.T is the lead singer for Quensryche, so I've seen both. Tom Keifer seen Cinderella open for Bon Jovi New Year's Eve, 86 and 87. So I've seen Cinderella a couple times. House of Blues there at Downtown Disney.
All right, so who do you like better so far? Who are you looking forward to seeing the most? Alice Cooper, Quensryche, or is Tom guy from Cinderella?
I've seen them all.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm just making sure that if I'm thinking about, or if I'm on the cruise, I'm trying to prioritize who I'm going to see, or is it that big a deal? Can you see just about every band, or is it, oh my God, these two are playing at opposite ends of the ship at the same time, or what?
That happens, yeah. So you're looking at each band plays twice. If they play the pre-party, which will be a band 2 or 3. They only play once on board. So if you catch them at the Magic City Casino, you don't have to catch them on board. Or if you want to see them twice. Like there's some bands that I will, like Keel, you never get to see Keel live. So I find them no matter what. If they're playing two shows on the ship, I watch both.
Do bands generally do the same set twice, or do they mix it up?
Some mix it up, some do the same set. Yeah. So it's pretty cool.
All right. What about your boys here, Skid Row?
Skid Row. Well, you're showing a picture with the original lead singer. They have a new lead singer now, and he's actually really good. They were on board the last cruise in 2020, and they were excellent. Their new lead singer is really good. They were my highlight of the whole cruise. The energy that they put off was incredible, and that just made my cruise. Going to see them, I will see both of their shows, and will forego whoever is opposite. The ship itself is gigantic, and of course every ship has a theater, so they do shows in the theater. They actually will cover the pool on the pool deck with they'll make some kind of contraption over the pool, and they'll drop a stage on the pool deck, a stage like you would see at any festival, just a scaled down size, and they'll put it on board, and they'll have all the lighting, they'll have drum risers, they'll have speakers obviously, and they'll have a backdrop, usually an LED screen, and they'll have pool parties, without a pool on the pool deck. So I've seen Skid Row in the theater. They also have smaller theaters where some of these smaller bands that we're going to be talking about in a little bit will play. I can't think of the names of the theaters, but they're smaller venues. Usually, if you're on a cruise ship, that's where they'll do like karaoke or trivia.
Right.
I think this time around they're actually having like a dueling piano, and they'll probably do that in the atrium. Or actually, there's no atrium in this one. It's almost like a shopping mall when you walk on this boat. That's how big they are.
All right, what about this band, Lit? I've seen them before. I want to see them again. Seems like they're not really in the same time frame here, right?
Yeah, no, they're definitely not in the same genre. And I was surprised when they talked about Lit coming on board. I'm more than happy. One of my favorite songs to do karaoke, of course, is a Lit song, my own worst enemy.
Hello.
Yeah, and I was surprised, like I said, to see them on board. But looking forward to it. I've seen Lit at the Oyster Bake in San Antonio during Fiesta, and I think they're from Canada, right?
Oh, shit. I don't know. I don't know them that well.
But strange story about that. That particular weekend, it was a Friday and Saturday. We go to Oyster Bake, and we've seen Bret Michaels. We've seen Tom Keifer there. We've seen Night Ranger there. We've seen Lit and Theory of a Dead Man. And a bunch of other bands, too, at this particular Oyster Bake during Fiesta in San Antonio every April. And somebody, personal good friend of mine, got me into a bad habit of putting guitar picks in my mouth.
Well, if you're picking them up off the ground, you can't hold them all and pick them up still. Yeah.
Right. So that particular weekend, we saw Theory of a Dead Man on Friday and Lit on Saturday. And Sunday, I caught the flu.
From a guitar pick off the ground that you put in your mouth?
From either Lit or Theory of a Dead Man, yes.
Nice.
And that was the last time I ever put a guitar pick in my mouth. So, yes, thanks, Mike. Your fault. Yeah. That bastard.
How about these guys, L.A. Guns? You seen
L.A. Guns are awesome. They are awesome.
Now, is it just me? I thought half of this band was the Guns and Guns N' Roses, and they no longer existed.
Yes. If you look at the picture, all the way to the left is Tracy Guns.
Okay.
Tracy Guns is the original Guns from Guns N' Roses. If you ever get a chance to pick up a book called Nothing But a Good Time, it's a 600-page, basically, biography of the 80s, and it explains the whole thing right there. Yeah, actually, this is a recent picture. All the way to the left, Von Johnson. I forget his first name. Ace Von Johnson. Second one from the left is Johnny Martin, friend of mine's friend, and Phil Lewis in the middle there. And I don't know the drummer's name, but they are really good. They have songs Sex Action, Ballad of Jane, and Gypsy something, and gosh, I wish I wrote some of these down. But yeah, they actually, and each one of these bands will play an hour, and each one of these bands probably have an hour's worth of hits without having to kind of go into deep cuts or new material. They play the hits and they're out.
So the band's approachable? Do they have a meet and greet time? Or
yes, you will literally be at Magic City Casino or checking in at the cruise line terminal and look next to you, and there's Eric Turner from Warrant. Like, what the hell? My first cruise, I remember sitting down after checking in, and the guy across from me, I'm like, hey, are you in the band? He goes, no, my name is Keith Roth. I'm one of the DJs on XM Radio, Hair Nation. I'm like, oh, cool. Awesome to meet you. Eddie Trunk, you meet him. God, the guys from Skid Row, hung out with them. The older drummer from Slaughter and Vince Neil, his name is Zoltar. He is an incredible drummer, crazy maniac on stage. Actually, a friend of a friend had met him. Jim Florentine, the comedian, met him. Don Jamieson, also a comedian, met him.
Name dropper.
Yeah, well, whatever. We actually had a room next to Kip Winger once and spoke to him. God,
were your rooms attached? Like you had that little side door where you could go into each other's rooms?
Adjoining rooms?
Was the headboard being slammed up against the wall all night, or what?
No, believe it or not.
I meant in your room.
By himself. Well, yeah. Yeah. No, but crazy nonetheless.
How about these guys? Kicks.
Kicks, I know these guys. Seen them, God, back in the 80s. Went to Lemoore in Brooklyn and seen these guys on New Year's Eve. And they're actually really good. Seen them. I think they've been on every Monsters of Rock that I've been on. So, yeah, they're awesome. Cold Blood. I think it's one of their songs. God, yeah. I don't know.
How about these guys? Winger,
yeah. Winger actually used to be a bass player for Alice Cooper. So it's going to be a little bit of a reunion on board.
Isn't that guy's first name Kip? Is it Kip?
Kip.
Yeah.
Yes, Kip Winger, all the way on the right.
You know, contrary to popular belief, my brain isn't all foggy from too much hops and bong resin, so I'm good.
Hops and Bong Resin, isn't that the name of your country band?
Yes, exactly. All right,
who else we got
here? Let's see who's next. Oh, Great White.
Great White.
I bet they burned the place down, huh? Oh, sorry, too soon?
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. So this is actually, I think, the original band right here we're looking at. And they have a different lead singer. They now have Mitch Malloy, who is, you might know him for the 15 minutes of fame he got a couple of years back when he admitted that he was going to be the replacement after Sammy Hagar in Van Halen. So that was going to happen. And then the next thing Mitch knows, he hears that they're back together with David Lee Roth. I'm like, okay, yeah.
Yeah, that was a friggin' train wreck.
Right. So, yeah. So 15 minutes he was in Van Halen. And awesome singer, great singer, good-looking guy. Now the new lead singer for this version of Great White. So you have Great White.
So pretty much everybody's probably heard that Once Bitten, Twice Shy. That's their big one, right?
Yeah. Yep. That's their big tune, which is actually a cover tune. I don't know who the original singer was.
Really?
But they have a good hour's worth of stuff. They're one of those bands that you'd be like, oh, they sing this song? Oh, I know this song.
Right, yeah.
That's this band. Yeah.
How about this guy? I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
How about him? Pat Travers. You seen him
Travers.
before?
I always thought he was a country star, you know?
Get out of here,
He's a musician's musician.
Yeah.
So
he's played with everybody. Everybody's played with him. They all like him. He likes everybody. It's one of those guys.
Like Ron Keel, just he loves this guy. He just goes on and on about him. And a lot of the people in these bands are like, they're fans of Pat Travers. Me, last time he was on Monsters of Rock, I skipped it. You can't see every band that you want if you don't skip someone else.
I hear you.
They overlap the shows. They're in 4 or 5 different venues. Just thought of another one. I told you about the pool deck, the theater, and then these larger Royal Caribbean ships have ice skating rinks.
Wow.
Yeah, and they cover the ice skating rink, and they put a stage up, and boom, you have another venue for another large venue.
So when you stop at these islands or whatever your ports of call are, does a band play there off the boat or no?
It depends. With Royal Caribbean and Norwegian Cruise Line, they have private islands. So typically, they'll do sets, and they used to do full-blown electric sets, but I think they found that it's logistically better to have these guys come out and do acoustic sets on the island.
Yeah, well,
so they're not bringing all this gear. But yeah, I know Winger's done a set once, and I can't think of who else I've seen, but I remember seeing the Atomic Punks, which is a Van Halen tribute band. I've seen them do a full electric set back when we used to go on Norwegian cruise lines.
How about these guys, Y&T?
Y&T is awesome. Now, unfortunately, they backed out of this particular...
oh, really?
Yeah, this particular cruise.
Is it COVID-related stuff or what?
A little bit COVID-related, and they've also done every, I think we're up to 11 Monsters of Rock cruises, and they've been on every one. And they're like, you know what, we're going to back out, and we're going to put some room in there for another band to come in and play.
Well, so, it's funny because I can imagine oh, shit, we got to do that boat again. Oh, man, if I get on another cruise,
Yeah, but I'll tell you, side note, a lot of these bands that you see listed here have basically resurrected their career because of Monsters of Rock.
God bless
where
them.
else?
It's awesome.
You get one gig and you get basically 4,000 people that are the diehard 80s hair metal
right
fans. The people that spend money.
Yeah.
And it basically has resurrected their careers. Two people I could think of offhand is Ron Keel with Keel and John Carobi. Both weren't doing much before Monsters of Rock.
How about these guys, or I should say gals, in Vixen?
Well, let's back up a second. I want to tell you a quick story. Y&T, they're from San Francisco, and they play it smart. In January, they go on tour, and they come across the U.S. in their they have a mini bus. It's a Mercedes-Benz mini bus with a little trailer behind it, and they work their way to Miami, and then they work their way back to San Francisco.
That's what you're supposed to do.
That's their tour.
Good.
A lot of bands, well, we're doing a Monsters of Rock tour, but we're doing nothing else all year. So let's fly into Miami, do the show, and then fly back home.
Yeah. Why not make money on the way and on the way back?
So the week before Monsters of Rock, I'm not sure which year. I'm going to guess 2015. The week before, we're like, let's go to the beach and get a bass tan. You know, get some sun, get out there, take a little pre-vacation before our vacation. And we get off the next exit down because that's where Starbucks is. And, of course, Brenda needs to go to Starbucks before we go to the beach. Doesn't everybody? And McDonald's is next to it. So, of course, I drop her at Starbucks. I go through McDonald's drive-through line. And I pull into the space right in front of Starbucks. And I'm looking on the sidewalk. And bopping down the sidewalk is a guy with long blonde hair. And I'm like, okay, that's strange that anybody that's a guy in San Antonio, Texas, has long hair. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of weird. And then I see the guy in the picture here is called Mike Vanderheel, come bopping down the sidewalk, and I recognize him immediately. That's Mike, and it's the drummer from Y&T. And the other guy is the guy all the way on the right. His name's Brad Lang, who is now not in the band, and he's with another band, which I can't think of the name, and they're at Starbucks. So I pop out of the car, like car's still running. I'm like frantic, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, Mike. He goes, yeah. I go, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. Mike, we're going to go see you guys on Monsters of Rock next year, next week. So we go inside, and we're in Starbucks, and all these millennials are around wondering why we're talking to these guys, asking people to take our picture.
They have no idea, right?
Yeah, no idea that these guys are, pseudo-famous or from a famous band back in the 80s. And, of course, the lead singer is the guy in the front there. His name's Dave Manichetti. He's the the lead singer and the only original member in the band. At one time, they were a 5-piece band. But, he's got the guitar. He's got the voice. He still sounds the same. They do a fantastic set. They're a lot of fun.
See, I would have went into Starbucks and told all the millennials, that's Def Leppard. Go get your picture with them. Tell them how much you like that Pour Some Sugar on Me song.
Right? Yeah. And, of course, John is the guy all the way on the left. He's their guitar player. And, yeah. So.
All right, now we go to Vixen.
Yeah.
You excited for them or no?
Yeah, but no. It was cool one year. They played the ice rink stage one particular year, and their lead singer either couldn't make it on the ship or was sick and she couldn't sing, and they had other people from other bands come up and sing while they played, which was kind of cool.
Yeah,
believe it or not, Faster Pussycat. Their drummer, his name's Chad, and he has a great voice.
There's their picture right there.
Yeah. Second guy from the left in that picture, if you're watching on YouTube or twitch.tv/both mics, that's Chad Stewart. You look at him, you're like, he can't sing. He looks like a drummer. Great voice. Sang a couple songs with Vixen. They were a lot of fun. So, yeah, if you get a chance to see Vixen, who really don't play or tour at all. And I'll tell you, a lot of these bands don't tour. Like Faster Pussycat, they don't. If they do 10 shows a year, that's a lot. So.
Well, I mean, you got to consider the age of some of these guys. They're probably older than me and you, and I don't know if I want to go on tour. I mean, you know how many tour requests I've turned down for us? I mean, shit, I get a new one every day. Shit. I had a dime for everybody that called and wanted us to come visit. All right. Here's your boy, John Carobi.
Yeah. John Carobi, other lead singer from Motley Crue. God, I've met him so many times. He looks nothing like that now. That picture... Now, looks like
now does he get offended when people reflect on the Motley Crue time he had versus where he's at now? Or no? He just kind of knows that is what it is.
Yeah, he's an Italian guy, so when he does his sets, he does a lot of acoustic sets. When he does his acoustic sets, it's like storyteller.
Nice.
You get a story in between every one about the time he met Steven. Yeah, the time he met Steven Tyler, his idol, for the first time, and things with Motley Crue, and this is what this song was about. He actually has a song that when Motley Crue let him go, he went home and told his girlfriend at the time, hey, Motley let me go, and she basically picked up her stuff that second and left.
And she married Vince Neil.
No. But he actually, he tells the story, and he actually wrote a song about it. Blah blah blah. He was on the Motley Cruise with Vince Neil.
Wow.
And he was actually the guitar player that replaced Robin Crosby in Rat.
Wow.
And not too many people know that in the late '90s, I guess the 2000 decade. I've seen him many times with Rat. First time I ever met him was when he was in Rat, and he had shorter hair, and he looks completely different then with short hair as he does now. Now he looks like something out of the Revenant movie, but like he used to be chasing and wrestling polar bears. But great guy, fantastic guy, unbelievable guy, really nice. I wouldn't consider him a friend. We recognize each other when we meet each other. Acquaintance, kind of. But yeah, one of my favorite people. He's got a solo album out that came out 7 years ago. Fantastic acoustic album. He's had a live album come out. He went on tour and he did the Motley record, the Motley 1994 record, with his son on drums and 2 guitar players, a bass player. Fantastic. Always a highlight. He's also one of the people that if he plays twice, we will go see him twice and forgo whoever is up against him in the schedule. So great guy.
How about your guy you mentioned before, Eddie Trunk?
Eddie Trunk, A&R guy back in the day, worked for record companies. Now he's on XM Radio, I think channel 106. Monday nights he does a thing on Hair Nation on channel 39. He's also the guy that did That Metal Show on VH1 for, over 10 years. Great guy. Met him several times. I had one of his T-shirts. He's thankful. And good guy. Good guy, for sure.
How about you? And you mentioned the other guy before here, Jim Florentine. See, I just know him from that Crank Anchor show. I don't know him from anything else.
I got mail.
That's the
guy. Yep.
That's hilarious.
Also, excuse me. Also from That Metal Show. And they're like hosts. They introduce bands, and they do. I think him and Don do a comedy set. I hung out with him at the casino one night while Don Jamieson, another comic, and Kip Winger played roulette. They played roulette, and I hung out with Jim. And I had his book. I had him sign it, and he's from New Jersey, as is Don Jamieson and Eddie Trunk. They're also from Jersey. So I kind of just hung out and shot the breeze about New Jersey with Jim Florentine for one night. It's kind of cool.
Anybody else that I missed that you're excited to see? Or
Well, also on the list is Keith Roth, who is the guy that I told you I met earlier. Dangerous Toys is a band out of Texas that is they have one song that everybody knows called Scared, and they're pretty good. I would see them if no one else was up against them. That was more forthcoming. Let's see, Tokyo Motor Fist. That's going to be one that you're that you're going to be interested about.
Tokyo Motor Fist.
Motor Fist, yes. They basically named the band. They're like, okay, what can we call it that just sounds really cool, And they came up with Tokyo Motor Fist. Lead guitar player from Trickster, Steve Brown, and he's the lead guitar player. The lead singer is the lead singer from Danger Danger, Ted Poley. And if you know Danger Danger, they actually have a song called Bang Bang. They have a song called Naughty Naughty. They have a song called Keep On Keepin' On. There seems to be a repetition there, but they're really good. Ted Poley has always been considered the captain of Monsters of Rock Cruise, where John Carobi is considered the mayor. They're both been on almost every Monsters of Rock Cruise, either with the band or solo. So they're both great guys. And their drummer is a guy called Chuck something, Billy Joel's drummer. So he's in this super group. And then to round it out is Ted Nugent's old bass player, Greg Smith. So yeah, each one of these four guys are from other bands, kind of a mini super group. And
like other bands that it could be is Killer Dwarfs. They're from Canada. A friend of mine is a really good friends with the guys there, and Beasto Blanco. That's gonna be interesting because Beasto Blanco. I'm guessing one of their singers. I guess it's their lead singer, one of the singers. I think there's a girl and a guy that do the singing. The girl is Calico Cooper, also known as Alice Cooper's daughter.
Wow.
So she'll be on board with Pop, and I'm guessing there'll be some kind of cross thing going on there. Either her showing up at his set or he showing up at her set. So other names on there: Joel Hoekstra. You might know him from Trans-Siberian Orchestra. He's actually on tour now with Trans-Siberian Orchestra, and famous for being the guitar player for Whitesnake for some coronation of that. And who else? Mike Monroe, band called Hanoi Rocks back in the 80s. He's the lead singer for Hanoi Rocks, or was the lead singer for Hanoi Rocks before Vince Neil got to an accident.
So do you and Eddie Trunk, like, you should host a game show on the ship where it's like stump the guy with the microphone, and they give you the band name and you got to name the people in the band or whatever. A lot of people can't do that shit that you're doing. You know what I mean?
Well, believe it or not, have you watched that metal show before?
Back in the day maybe, but it's been a while.
That's probably where you're subconsciously thinking, because there is a segment he does called Stump the Trunk.
Okay.
And people in the audience would ask questions, trying to stump him with, what the answer would be.
Now I've seen something, and you may want to try this. This may be a fun thing, especially with somebody who's been drinking. Because, I expect when you come back from this cruise for you to have all kinds of awesome pictures, video, interviews, promos cut for the show, and all that shit. John Carobi, can you do one of these welcome to both mics thing, my favorite podcast or whatever, or your podcast fucking sucks, this is Eddie Trunk, whatever.
Use $1.
Yeah, but I've seen somebody do this on YouTube before, where they're at a concert festival and somebody's walking around with some hardcore, little-known band, the Trees or whatever the band's name is, and the guy will go over and go, "Hey, I see you're a big Trees fan." And they're like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Name me 3 songs."
Right.
And it's like crickets, it's like, so I totally expect for, something like that to happen.
Yep. Well, these with the Monsters Rock, they start these shows at about 10 o'clock in the morning.
Nice.
And they like the last show will start at like 12 or 1 in the morning. So you're essentially looking at 16 to 18 hours of music all day long, and with the 5 venues going, and traditionally you would go to like a sit down dinner. We might do a sit-down dinner one night out of the 5. Everybody's in the buffet, in and out, on to the next show. They have a drink package this year, which is not a bargain, like in years past. So
yeah, they're not going to give you 288 drink tickets, Mike.
Yeah, no. But since I'm Diamond class or Diamond level with Royal Caribbean, they actually load 4 free drinks onto our card each day.
Wow.
So, that, and if you actually have a scope bottle and you fill it with Tito's vodka and 2 drops of green food coloring, that works too.
Well, I'll tell you how to get vodka. 2 liters of vodka and rum on the ship at a time, because you can take a 2-liter bottle. So what you do is you go to the store, you go to the Quickie Mart or whatever, and you get like a 7-Up, a 2-liter, and then you get like a 7-Up that's like a small one, like a 16-ounce one, okay? Then what you do is you take the 2-liter and you open that up and you throw all that shit down the drain. You fucking throw the 7-Up down the drain. Then you take some shears and you cut off. You don't take the top off the smaller one. You cut it near the top, draining all the drink out, or drinking the drink, whatever you want to do. Just don't take that top off the little one. Then you take like a heat gun or a hair dryer and you melt the plastic from around the cap. And the seal on the cap isn't broken. You pull that little piece off, you fill up the 2-liter with vodka or rum, and then you put the cap on and it seals, and it looks like you put like a tablespoon or 2 of 7-Up back in the bottle there, and this way it has some fizz or whatever. But if the seal's not broken, I mean, that's how I've gotten drinks on board before.
Well, they don't let you bring 2-liter bottles of soda onto the cruise ship.
I'm probably the reason for that. Then I'll call. Yeah, it's funny because we were coming back from our cruise, and I'm taking the bottles, and we had two 2-liter bottles, and it was like maybe a third in each one left. I mean, we just couldn't drink stuff fast enough between the drinks we got, and that I just couldn't drink it. It was almost like a waste. So I take the 7-Up, and we're about ready to leave the room, packing our shit up, and I'm dumping it down the drain, and my wife's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm getting rid of this shit." She goes, "No, let's keep it. Let's bring it back." I said, "You're fucking crazy? That's looking for trouble. Like you're smuggling rum back into the country." No.
Right? Yeah.
No.
Well, this past cruise, usually when you go through the little metal detector that they have when you come back from Jamaica,
Yeah.
they'll see your bottle in the radar and have you store it to the side, and they'll return it back to you the night before the cruise ends.
So you don't interfere with their drink, with the drinks
Exactly.
they're serving.
Exactly. Yeah.
They don't want to lose money.
We had the drink package anyway, so it didn't matter.
Yeah. I hear you.
But they never seen it. They never confiscated it or nothing. We had was it Appleton rum, Jamaican rum, and we had it in our room. I forgot all about it, but it didn't matter because we had the drink package. So,
Right.
Our cabin. Like I said, I stayed in a 2-bedroom suite before. I've stayed in a VIP suite. We call it junior suite. And we have just a regular cabin. It's a balcony cabin. And nothing real special about it, but we are a silver VIP, which gets us second group online to get to the theater shows, and second group, behind gold VIP for the meet and greets. Each band does a meet and greet. It's basically like what they call like a hug and shove. You kind of like, okay, quick, smile, click. Okay, quick, smile, click. Okay, quick, smile, click. And so we get to the front of the line for that. And that's kind of cool, to actually meet and shake hands and say a couple words to these people that you've seen or have heard on the radio for so many years. And that's good because some of these bands, like if they do a meet and greet with Alice Cooper, God, it's going to be like a 4-hour line.
Sure.
You're going to be sitting there you're going to get online an hour before it starts, and you're going to be there online for a couple hours. You're missing 1 or 2 shows, one or two concerts, waiting online for meet and greets.
Right.
And they don't do one meet and greet. There's probably 2 meet and greets a day. Well, they'll do like 5 bands at a time. And I think we're looking at close to 40 bands that are listed here.
So how about on the cruise? Like you said, you had partnered up with some people and stuff. I mean, is there some sort of hideaway for some of these bands? Because I can see they just want to relax. They don't want to, but I guess you got to kind of expect that you're going to get hassled even if it's your break time or whatever, because that's the life you chose. You chose to come and perform on the cruise. Yeah. This is part of the package, Well,
we're also there's not many people there that are younger than 40. So it's not like we're chasing, the lead singer from Stryper across the pool deck. No, everybody just hangs out, and once in a while they'll get like a tap on the shoulder, like, "Hey, can you sign this? Hey, can you take a picture?" And they're used to it. They're just hanging out. They're not stressed about kids chasing them around or anything.
They got nowhere to be. They can't be anywhere that you're not. They're on the ship.
Right. Yeah. And like on the Motley cruise, I hung out with Skid Row like the entire time. And John Carobi from Rat, he was at Rat at the time. They hung out all the time. This past cruise with Skid Row, I saw them in the VIP reception that they had day one, and they were kind of standoffish a little bit because I thought they were going to be cool like they were last time. And I went up to them like, "Hey guys, what's going on?" Blah 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 blah. And they're like, "Hey, what's up, man? Yeah, And then they kind of all just kind of scurried away. I'm like, that sucked.
They're like, "Do you know this guy?" "I have no fucking idea." "No, I don't know him either." "All right. Yeah. When I say the keyword, we all break and go a different direction."
Yeah. Well, there was one time on one particular cruise, a friend of mine who is you remember we were talking about that band, The Dirt?
Yes.
The drummer, friend of mine, and him and his wife, who I've known for probably 20 years now. We were hanging out with them over kind of by the buffet in the stair area, and we were talking. And the next thing we know, one of the
musical artists come by. We're talking to them and taking pictures and drinking. Everybody has a drink in their hand. And then like, as we like go through this area, we end up coming across like 10 different people taking pictures, having fun, yucking it up, just with drinks in our hands, having a good time.
Right.
So, you meet people as they kind of shuffle back and forth.
So you mentioned a couple of things which I really like, that, getting together with people and meeting people and stuff like that with similar interests and everything. And, you mentioned that, kind of a loose atmosphere, everybody kind of being real good to each other and everybody in the bands kind of being real approachable and everything. Is there ever a time, like, I don't know if you've seen Dave Grohl from the Foo Fighters, where he pulls somebody up on stage all the time to play guitar? Is there anybody that is involved that way? They get the fans involved? Or does a lead singer or something go on the parade through the crowd or whatever?
Yeah. On the first note, not really, because, like I've said, they have an hour set.
Yeah.
So they kind of want to get what they want to get in while they're doing it. So they really don't bring anybody up on stage. They do, I call them add-ons. Do you think you can shred? They'll have like a shred contest, and they'll have some of the main guitar players up there, and they'll have fans, even someone's kid was up there playing guitar and just jamming. And they'll have a contest of who the best shredder is.
So does anybody get up there and they really suck and they think they're good?
I've never seen it.
Okay.
They've probably done it 5 or 6 times. I've never seen it.
Okay.
To me, there's better things to do.
Right.
They do a lot of those add-ons, and I'll talk about them in a minute. And what was the second question?
You ever maybe a lead singer of the band doing a parade through the crowd?
Yeah. Ted Poley from Danger, and this particular year from Tokyo Motor Set Fest. He has one particular song, I can't remember offhand what it is. It's a ballad, and he'll jump down off stage, and he'll kind of go through the crowd, and of course security will have the flashlight on.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. Some of the singers will do that, and kind of get out in the crowd and sing a little bit, but nothing crazy. Nothing crazy or out of the ordinary. No one climbing up on rafters and swinging around or anything like that.
About the old, I guess you're kind of, most of the women there are kind of past the stage of taking their top off during the show.
Yeah, I've only seen someone kind of flash themselves in an elevator, in a glass elevator, while Night Ranger played in the atrium one night. So that was interesting. And of course, not to be outdone, some guy chucked the moon as the elevator went up during the Night Ranger song set on one of the Monster Rock cruises.
Nice.
Yeah. That was 2015 or 2016.
Will you sign my Pandora bag? What does that mean?
Oh my God.
I have an idea.
Oh.
That's in the chat.
In the chat. Must be something.
Tell me that story.
All right. God. Another drunken night.
No.
And, imagine that. And God, I forget which. I think we came across the lead singer from Y&T, and my wife was like, "We should get an autograph." She goes, "I got nothing to sign." I go, "Well, we just got back on board," and she bought like some Pandora charms or a Pandora bracelet, and we had this nice bag, a little shopping bag, probably about 6 inches by 8 inches by 2 inches wide, has nice little ribbon handles and stuff. I go, "Have them sign your Pandora bag." So we got the lead singer, Dave Manichetti from Y&T, to sign her bag. I'd
be willing to bet there's not 2 of those out there. That's a one of a kind.
No, yeah. And probably ask him, "Hey, you ever signed a Pandora bag?" He'd be like, "Oh, no, never done that before." So we got John, the guitar player, to sign it. Then we got Brad, the bass player, to sign it. And then the last night, we were like, "We got to find Mike Vanderheel." And she's like, "Oh, we'll never find him." She goes, "I'm not going to bring it." I go, "Well, bring it just in case." And sure enough, that night, walking across the pool deck with his wife, we found Mike Vanderheel, and he signed it. So we got a shadow box from Michaels or Joanne Fabrics or something. And I printed out a picture of Y&T, and I put it in the back. And then in the front of this shadow box is this white Pandora bag with the 4 autographs from the guys at Y&T.
Nice.
And
that's funny.
I'm looking around and I don't see it
in here. So
That's all right. I know I called you early to show and tell. Sorry.
It's around here somewhere.
No, I hear you. I hear you.
We haven't gotten everything hung up yet.
Any other interactions or activities or problems with anybody from bands in the past, like illegal substances or whatever?
The only problem I've ever come across is with Sebastian Bach, the original lead singer from Skid Row, who has an ego so big it really doesn't fit in the room with him. But yeah, he like a friend of mine, Chris, was like, "Hey, Sebastian, can I get a picture?" And he's like, "Yeah." And he goes to pose. He goes, "No, a picture with you and me." He goes, "No, not together." You get a picture with me, but I don't want a picture with you. So yeah, Sebastian was a little bit of a dick.
Nice.
Yeah, he has a habit of doing that. Other things that happened, they like Dave Manichetti from Y&T, him and his wife at one point had a wine vineyard and had a wine brand called Manichetti Wine, and they would do a dinner. So you would pay X amount of dollars, and they would limit it to like 30 people, and you get to go to one of the specialty restaurants on board. Usually it's Chops, which is the steakhouse, and they would have like an intimate dinner with Dave and Jill Manichetti. They do a cooking with rock stars. So like you can be like hanging out with the drummer from Faster Pussycat, and they'll cook something, or they'll have a cocktail thing where they make cocktails, and they'll have a competition who can make the best cocktail, and each team will have a musician celebrity on it. They also do a painting thing now where, like, you ever see those things with wine and painting, and there's somebody up front and they're kind of showing you how to paint, get the green and put it here and get the blue and put it here.
Happy little trees.
Yeah, exactly. So they do one of those now, and I think this year, since it was so popular last year, they're doing one every day. So you can paint with rock stars. The cooking with rock stars, they do theme nights, prom night, 80s night. Usually prom night, 80s night. They had a Star Wars night or Star Wars day once, and
I was thinking you were gonna. I was thinking you were gonna tell me about these things, so I was trying to come up with a couple that I might enjoy that maybe they're not doing, like try to wake the rock star up before noon.
Don't draw a penis on his face with a Sharpie on the pool deck.
Yes, now we're getting somewhere.
There we go.
Hey, we got about a minute and a half left. We threw the whole show here at the Monsters of Rock Cruise 2022, and that's okay. That's all right. It's worth it. And anything else? Any last second thing? You got about 20 seconds here.
Yeah. God, the places I've been. Obviously Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and Tampa, but I've been to Cayman Islands, I've been to Nassau, Bahamas, I've been to Cozumel, I've been to Jamaica, I've been to Ensenada and Mexico, and Catalina Island, California, which is an island about 30 miles off of LA, which is part of LA County. We actually stop at places too. Private islands in Haiti, private islands in the Bahamas. We've gone everywhere. We've had a good time. I have probably 50 friends that are close friends from going on these Monsters of Rock cruises.
All right, cool.
They're a lot of fun.
Hopefully somebody's watching this and they'll approach you on the cruise here and say hi to you. That'd be great.
And maybe you someday.
Yeah, right. All right, we got to get out of here. I appreciate everybody staying and hanging and watching, and you can catch us wherever you find stuff. So, hey, if you're on twitch.tv/bothmics, stick around. We're going to do another show right after this.
It's monstersofrock.com. monstersofrockcruise.com.